experiencers, and we are the experiencers of extraterrestrials.
Hello, galactic souls and cosmic travelers to the voices of contact. We are the voices of experiencers because we are the experiencers. It is time for disclosure and it's time for truth because truth brings powerful transformation.
Just what's out there in the abyss, in the darkness of the unknown.
We are the voices of change carrying the resonance of evolution on an expansive level. Here, fear dissolves and we step fully into living as bridges between two different realities, human and extraterrestrial, and material and multidimensional. Profound evolution is here. Profound integration is here. This is the voices of contact.
It's time for disclosure and it's time for truth because what lies in the darkness brings powerful transformation.
Hi everyone, I'm Mary. I'm a channeler, transpsychic medium, and hypnosis regressionist for ET experiencers with MUFON. I heal timeline distortions from trauma by supporting recall and healing while in expanded states of consciousness. And I do this through my healing work, my regression work, my activations, and my readings.
We're the bridge between two different worlds, with one foot in this reality and one in the next.
Tonight, together with our incredible panel, we're going to journey beyond the stars and dive deep into the mysteries of contact, consciousness, and cosmic truth. Because there is so much more out there than we have yet realized. And until now, we have only scratched the surface. Together, we're going to explore the darkness of the universe and illuminate it with wisdom, compassion, and higher knowledge. Disclosure is here. And so are we.
The shift is here, along with profound integration.
Allow me to introduce our panel of truth bringers and experiencers. We have Deb and RJ DeRoos. They're authors, paranormal and UFO researchers, experiencers themselves. They're founders of the Michigan UFO Contact Gathering that happens up at Houghton Lake, Michigan every year at the end of September. And then the visionaries behind Mystical Awakenings Radio, Mystical Awakenings Vodcast, and Mystical Awakenings Metaphysical Store. We have Deb Jordan Cobble, Deb too, and she is the central figure in Bud Hopkins' bestseller Intruders. She's the co-author of Abducted, an author of Extraordinary Contact. She's also a former Indiana MUFON investigator and a host of Midwest Paratalk podcasts. We have Dana Stricker, a former psychic medium with extraordinary remote view gifts and medical intuitive gifts that are known worldwide.
Just who are extraterrestrials and what are their plans?
This incredible panel of experiencers, researchers, and visionaries, anything is possible. And tonight, we will decode the unseen, amplify the truth, and create a field of remembrance and awakening. Through my regression work, I have witnessed extraordinary contact cases, fascinating journeys of souls stepping into remembrance and activation. My clients have agreed to share the regressions here so that all of us, the listeners, the panels, and experiencers alike, walk away with deeper connection, insight, and empowerment. It is truly a win-win because every story expands the collective field of awakening. So, settle in, open your heart, and prepare to journey with us. This is the Voices of Contact. where disclosure lives, truth transforms, and evolution awakens.
It's time to find out with the Voices of Contact.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. You know, that intro reminded me of a flying saucer coming over. It's flying saucer, yeah, how old I am. Coming over and with woofers on it, you know.
Oh,
Pretty cool.
Flying over.
Yeah,
So
hi,
welcome
everybody.
back, James.
Yay. Hi, James.
Hi,
Glad you're
James.
here.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good. Did you guys have a good week?
Yeah.
Good.
Always.
went by super fast.
Yeah,
Well,
Every day I wake up is a good day.
just like that.
Amen.
Teleported. Right through the black hole.
Mhm.
You got it.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
So just to remind the audience, we're continuing on with the regression that Deb did with me, or she did for me at UFOCon, and she did a fabulous job once
Thank
again.
you.
So we're just going to continue on with that. And so for this very first clip, Deb had asked what the purpose of my mission was. So give me one moment. Let's see here.
For what is happening right now in Mary's life. There are shifts, there are changes. Is this all on purpose? Is she connected with those that she's supposed to be connected?
She's completely and totally connected. We have always been connected to her through all her lifetimes. She has been here through planet Earth from the very beginning. She's one of the ones, along with many other species. It's not just one species that's seeded the planet. It's a collaborative effort, just like your politicians do now, except for we like each other. So we work through her, and we're continuously with her, and now she knows that she's moving forward in her mission, her job, her role. She is one of the people of very, very many that are here to lead the revolution and the rebellion. It is here, and we trust her, and we're happy, and we will follow her.
Who's the rebellion against?
I think it's just not so much like in a battle type sense, but more of helping people remember, right? Like shattering, taking that time where everything was shattered and through the healing work and frequency and showing people the truth and speaking our truth, just like when James talks about, you know, it's your truth and it's your voice. I recognize how real that is. Like I've recognized through the work that I do, right? Talking to people and fluctuating my voice, I can shift their energy, and I can take somebody who is angry, and by the time we're done, they're feeling good and they're feeling loved. And I just learned that I did that naturally. Now I know why I did that naturally. It's everything is a frequency. So, you know, the way you feel, the way you express yourself, that is something that's bouncing off other people.
Mhm.
So, you know, what do you want to bounce the frequency off of, right?
Now, I want to remind our audience again, this regression was done on stage at a UFO conference, so the video, the volume might be a little different. So if you have earbuds or if you have headphones, please put them on when you're listening to this. So
It sounds like an evolution of, of the human psyche.
mhm.
Yeah.
I think it's just like remembering, you know, who we were before all the crap happened. So like, you know, on this 3D, trying to find a way to move back to that person we were before we started to experience trauma, and every single time we lose ourselves. When we can figure out how to draw that back in and integrate, I think that's what, it's not so much a rebellion, but a movement to help as many people remember as possible.
Mhm.
Because that's what fights the negative energy, the negative AI, the negative entities, or, you know, the good versus evil type thing. That helping people remember that while there is a God, it's not something to be worshipped. Anything that asks you to worship them or it, like, it's not real. It's a false God, because they're getting you away from what you should be worshiping is yourself, because you're God's source. You're a part of it. So when you find that divine, everything else falls into place. So I think it's more leading a movement to help people recognize that.
Mhm.
I agree.
That makes perfect sense. And I'd like to add that I also don't feel it's something to be feared,
Mm-mm.
because fear keeps our vibrations very low,
Mhm.
and we can't evolve if we live in a state of fear.
There's information out there that a lot of the extraterrestrials who had visited here a while back, way back, people made them gods, and that's what they didn't want to happen, and they left, because of that, and that they didn't want to be worshipped, like you were talking about, Mary. So, but when you look at something coming out of the sky and spaceships coming down, and these 20-foot beam walks off the ship and everything, you're looking at it, you're gonna totally freak out, and you're gonna worship it as a god, probably, because the technology was so more far advanced than we had, at the time. So.
Yeah. Well, I love this regression because for many, many reasons. Partly, of course, because it's Mary, but showing the evolved soul that she is, and that she's always been here, as most people have, right? But I think if listeners listened last week and then listened this week, it's so clear when the conscious takes over.
Yeah, there's definitely a shift in the voices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the voice, the feel, the everything is, everything is coming direct from soul at that point.
So why do we want to regress?
To find ourselves. And I think pieces of our chakras are just portals to pieces of ourselves, some parallel universes or other dimensions. So through that regression work, as we move through each of those past lives, I feel like that past life is connected to that chakra. And so when you figure out that part, then you're able to completely progress, with the realization too that from what I have channeled, like each chakra also has 6 timelines that you have to be able to move through in order to progress and evolve in your vibration. So being able to understand that pieces of ourselves are through those chakras and through those portals connected, we're able to ascend with the help of regression work, channeling, meditation, anything that gets you spiritually in tune to God source within, anything like that's going to help you move up those timelines so you can continue to ascend.
And if I could have,
that's my what I think my favorite part of the book of Mary Magdalene is she actually talks about the ascension of the soul. She talks about ascension in there. That's amazing. Check it out.
Absolutely.
So it makes total sense. Everything does.
Mm-hmm. What were you saying there, Jay?
I was going to say, if I could ever find the book that I just wrote last year, about that, what you're talking about. I'll get it out there, but I can't find the papers anywhere. So we'll see.
Right.
You'll find
And
it when the time's right.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you're right.
And I want to hit on that too. I'm glad you asked that, James, because I think every person that does this work is a piece, a part of the total ascension.
Mhm.
You know, we are connected, we are one. So if people don't do the work, it doesn't help any of us, right? But the more people that do it and the more people that remember who they are and are ready to move forward, then the easier it is for us as a species, as a planet, to move forward. Kudos to everybody that does it.
And I'm excited because I know that we are. I just feel it to my bones that it's here, and we're going to get enough people to elevate and raise the vibration. So there's a shift coming, and I'm excited about it personally. But that could be just because I'm excited about everything. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, in Andrea's words, holy shit.
Holy shit. That is right.
Anybody hear that clicking sound in the back? Mm-hmm. What is that?
Heard it since the.
Yeah, it's been going on for a while.
Oh.
Mhm.
I don't hear it.
There it is.
Just did it.
Oh, yeah, I heard that wasn't me. Yeah.
Somebody have a clock that goes tick, tick.
I got a cuckoo
Not-
clock
not-
in the other room.
It's not consistent enough to
I
be a
was
clock,
gonna-
but it's just
right.
maybe a.
Yeah. That's kind of what it sounds like, but it's not consistent.
All right.
It'll
So
do it 2 or 3 times.
we hear the ticking. What's that about?
I don't know. We James, we get a lot of weird noises when we do our shows and Morse code and everything else. So
And I usually can't hear any of it.
True.
It's coming from her.
Very true.
Probably coming from me. And I don't
Whoever's
even know.
out there.
a lot of times James will hear it, do, 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 you know, in the background.
So we're looking for ourselves through this regression. Here's a good exercise. You wake up in the morning, you look yourself dead in the eye in the mirror and say, there's the problem.
You're right.
Oh, sorry, that's funny.
I'm my own worst enemy. That is a fact, Jack.
So, but on the flip side of it is there's the solution. And so what are we going to do? We're going to place intent for my best and highest good. Everything around me, I change you balance out all the vibrations. That's how it works. I know energy. I've been studying it for over 30 years. I know how this, I really do know how this works. Not what you're saying. Not what you're saying. It's how you're saying. And all that is vibration. I talked on the last show about it. Connect all the vibrations and all the experiences here on this planet. We find our with our have to have that energy work. But then you get your emotions and arrogance and your egos and all that stops you. I don't know how many of you have been trying to meditate, but you can't shut off your brain so you can start astral projecting or whatever you want to do. Okay. Ego going, oh no, it's okay, you'll be all right. Well, it's a bunch of bullshit for this.
I love that. Your sound is really breaking up, James. We can't hear what you're saying half the time.
I heard that.
But that came through.
So to find our true selves, we're going down this rabbit hole and doing all this energy stuff that we all know, and we all know it works. Why doesn't anybody want that? Well, the big thing, fear, false. I want to be scared. I don't want to do it. Well, that's just a bunch of crap. You just do it and walk that fear. What happens? Praise.
Yeah, it's funny because I notice some people, they think if they get regressed that the regressionist is going to find out that they had certain thoughts about somebody, or they were maybe looking at you know something they weren't supposed to, but that's not. I try to tell them it's not like that. But it doesn't reveal that kind of stuff. So.
I always tell people I'm going to make them quack like a duck.
No wonder they don't want to do it, right?
I dare you. I double dog.
Yeah, and that's another thing. They think they're going to lose control.
No, you always have full control. You really do, because it's always, you always kind of remember at first, and then like after like the first 2 hours, it starts to fade. It just becomes amnesia. But like right after you come out of it, you always have that sense you were there, but you weren't there. Just like meditation. That being aware of everything, but being aligned with something else type thing.
Yeah.
So you guys ready for the next clip?
We are.
Yes.
So this one, Deb asked what the ascension was. Give me one moment.
To ourselves, we all have pieces of ourselves in dimensional and parallel universes. That's why. And the ascension is all about being able to find a way to tap into those dimensional energies and draw back the pieces of your soul that belong to you and not negative AI that is trying to hold us trapped. Integrate. Draw that energy back in, and once you integrate, then you remember. That's what the ascension is to remember who you've always meant to be before distortion and anger and anxiety and all of the crushing things that people do to you during your life. All of that stuff was a distortion to hold us trapped.
Thank you for that. Thank you. So, can you tell us, before we let you go, where is Sophia Mary? Where is she originally from?
She originated as the ancient Elohim, the ancient wisdom, the original God source, the all that is. Part of the high council of the seers and the creators. And though she went through a hard time at Orion, she doesn't understand what she feels like was true betrayal for us. She has to understand that it's a part of the process that it had to happen because she had to be in a simpler situation now so that she could trust the process and see that it's different. This time, she's not going to get persecuted for the words that she says. She is supposed to rebel and lead the rebellion and be rebellious and speak the words that everybody's thinking, but not strong enough to say out loud. She may be quiet, but she's the one that has the courage to break through.
And doing that without saying the words?
You have to say the words. The voice is the frequency. The tone is the frequency. It's all about the vibration, the movement, and being able to move the energy in the direction that you want. The frequency is within her. That's why she's realizing she was led. She was led to the regression work because the voice activates. She knows how to use the tone. Through that, everything shifts, everything changes. And she's discovering now that she can see that energy and she can move that energy and grab onto it, and she can forward it and force it around to the back of her and maneuver it so that the energy spreads and generates to everybody. And then they can feel it and it spreads out to everybody. And once they can do it, They do it for everybody that's around them. And soon you'll find us leaping forward. This time we are going to win.
So, even though that's difficult to hear, I mean, I'm picking up pieces in there, but it seems to me that the whole thing is about you, my dear, forgetting your fears and doing what you're supposed to do so that you can ascend. And that's true for everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a cool story because we've seen it unfold, since we've known you. And it started just before you knew us, of course. Maybe a year before you really started to know us, but
Mm-hmm.
it's all about you. They're telling you that you have to just be you, manifest
Right.
yourself. Yeah.
Just do it. Just own it. Just be. You
Where are you ascending to? That's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to go. What do you do? Well, that's where the end comes. How far down the rabbit hole do I want to go? I mean, we can stop any time if we do. So when I'm ascending, it's all. It's all. Like everybody, every tree, every leaf, every animal, all of it. It's all connected.
Mm-hmm.
And we do that frequency vibrations of who we are. Make sense?
I always say going down the rabbit hole too. Maybe we should start saying stuff like going up the wormhole or something. Ascending, going up the wormhole. Because I've always said going down the wormhole, and all my life I just had this little thing just come to me and say, maybe we should start going up the wormhole. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so then you got that. So, so we're ascending to the place. Why? Why? Who we are. I said it. Problems. There. Where do I go? Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And all these entities that are helping, Allie, who knows what, are being taught this like they were taught millions of years ago. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are we listening or are we doing? What do we want? How do we want to handle this? What's my choice? Well, my choice is always keep shoveling down that rabbit hole, man. And I don't know about for anybody else, but this is what I.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
I only heard about half of that. I don't know why.
Yeah, he's cutting out. His
Yeah.
volume has sound, but we're getting enough to know.
I mean, this is stuff, everybody. I'll just let my ego get out there a little bit.
Some very good points, though.
Yeah.
Because, where are we going? Where are we ascending to? As you said, we're becoming us. We're connecting with all that is.
Yeah.
And that's what was meant to happen for probably always, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Like going back to last week, you said, James, we're taking on a new perspective, right? Yeah.
and how am I going to choose that? Well, I mean, you hear it, law of attraction. Talks about it, synchronicities. I read a book years and years and years ago by Dr. Marseille, and I couldn't understand what I was reading.
Right.
He wrote another one. I read that, and I understood everything that first book. Great. Why do I know this stuff already? Why was it familiar? I get into comedy 30 years ago, and it's just like I didn't know how to read, but I understood what they were saying. Why is it? Because I'm ready.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when I read the Keys of Enoch when I was in my 20s, I had no clue what it was saying.
Yeah.
And and it took me as I had different perspectives and learned more, then I started understanding it more. So and finally go, aha, get that aha moment.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. It's not like move forward.
Right.
I mean, I ain't but everybody. It's all in the pineal gland of your brain. All the receptors hooking up other stuff. Where do you want to go? It gets tricky. I took the word struggle out of my life. So, how do you want to balance that? Well,
It does. So speaking of the pineal gland, since James is bringing that up, this next clip, it talks about opening up the pineal gland. So give me one moment.
Constellation that governs the body and the stargates within our system. So when we activate the pineal gland, we activate our cosmic consciousness connection to our galactics. Thank you.
May I ask who we're talking with today?
These are Mary's galactic councils. She channels us often and we give her the answers. I have one more thing I need to add about the pineal gland. You need to activate it by seeing it as the constellation and watching the stars one by one light up and connect. This is your process, this is your way. If you do this daily, you will find it get easier and it get easier and it get easier to the point where you just open up and go further and further and further. Because when you do that, then we can connect to you, and that's what we really want to do. We just want to raise your frequency. That's why often sometimes you guys feel off and jittery, is because we're trying to connect you and trying to get you to see. We know it's a hard mission to get you guys to trust us and ask you to just believe. But we chose Mary because we knew how strong her faith was and how spiritual she really is and how connected she really is. She's always been multidimensional. She's always come back again and again and been loyal to us. And so we know that she will carry the mission even though she doesn't know completely how. That's how she just flows. She never plans, she never goes. She just processes the information that we give her and then she goes through with it and she's fabulous because then it always works out. And that's why she continues to just go with the flow.
In other words, I'm the one that's stupid enough to have blind faith and just do whatever I'm told. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Who can I find to go along with me?
Oh, and who do you call?
You. Because you'll agree to it.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So it said they are saying we just give you the information and then what? You go with it, right?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the reason why we
The sound.
sure. That's
James,
What?
can you take one moment and go ahead and back out and then come back in?
back out.
Yep, you're breaking up, and I think that'll make it better because you're saying great stuff, but we can't hear them.
No. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's the pineal gland and the constellation thing is fascinating to me because I can see it, I can visualize it. That if we were to do a meditation, we'd be able to activate that.
Mhm.
All right, talk. Let's see if we can hear you. Go.
I'm a guy. But that's what the pineal gland, that's our source. To where everything in our brain and all of our receptors, I mean, everybody talks about it. They've been dumbing it down for who knows how long, but people are starting to wake up and going, "What is this thing inside my source?" Well, it's the source of all. That's who we all are. That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the pineal gland is like your ears to the rest of the universe. That's where all of the information comes through.
And
so without it,
it's our connection to source, like you said.
Right.
So I was microdosing psilocybin mushroom. And what this does is it gets all the crap off of your pineal gland. And up even more. Joe Dispenza talks about it. They all talk about it. It's just one big circle. But what you people are doing is trying to figure out where it's coming from every species across the galaxy. They're helping us out to learn shit. That's what they're doing. And that's the information.
You can go anywhere with that pineal gland and not move. You can be anywhere. That's the meditation source. That's where you can go anywhere, imagine anything, create
Remote
anything.
view.
Yeah, remote view.
Travel.
Yeah, for sure.
All of it.
And that's why they didn't want to dumb it down. And started with us using putting fluoride in the water, and we all know that story. But
for your so we're all shifting about the next contact, which 2029, where the come here. Okay, people, good job, but we want. I think we don't have control. We have no control at all.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
I am powerless over people, places, and things. But people think they're powerless over me. I am. Which is the most powerful statement on the planet. I am.
Yeah.
I
am that I am.
Yeah. And that's what the wakening up process is all about. I am powerful. I am all that because I am connected to everything. Make sense?
All right.
Oh man, I see all the question marks coming above everybody's head. But it's true. For me, now everybody else has to find their own truth. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
We're finding truth together.
That's right.
The truth is here, and so are we.
We all need those. Right. We all need that Riddler costume with all the question marks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we go inside our soul and our heart. We have to protect it, stand, and wake up to themselves, to who they truly are. I mean, here's the thing. I came out of the womb. That was the purest moment here on planet Earth. Right there. Grandpa gets, you get all this vibration, all these whatever. And that's how we start developing who we are by outside sources. And now we're finding out who we are personally. Plan, heart space, soul. Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's looking for it. Everyone. Whether they know it or not.
Everybody's looking for something.
We're all running to find something, and really it's just ourselves, right?
And it's our purpose.
It's depressing. Sorry.
To help society or what the next guy, If I can help, I will. If I can't, well, go find something else.
Yeah.
and that's okay.
That's okay.
All right. So are you ready for this very last one? This is Deb asked if there was a parting message for me. Give me one moment.
Do you have anything that you would like to leave for Mary that might help her on this mission that she is currently on in this physical lifetime that she needs to hear right now?
She needs to know, she needs to hear mission complete. This time, all her effort and her hard work at growth and opening up and being vulnerable and learning how to be a humanoid has worked. And this time, she will do her job and be able to complete it. And know that energetically, everybody is safe and happy and feeling joy, just as it should be.
So everybody's just gotta do their thing and do it right, and just don't go on with it, right?
Mission complete.
Mission complete.
I love that. Although it's not complete, you have a lot of work to do.
I'm sure we all have a lot of work
But
to
you're
do.
doing it. You're doing it. And
Yeah.
I think that's a great example for our listeners to follow spirit, follow your consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And when you feel it, act on it. And that's really what you've been doing the last 4 years or so.
Yep, just going with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
As Jean-Luc Picard says, engage.
Yeah. Engage.
You know, I have a problem with this thing work. Like, what's that all about? Play. That's who I am. So I can play in this help others. What's the problem?
It needs work anyway.
Yeah.
Well, eventually, we're not going to be working for money. I mean, that's the evolving thing. I think is that it's not the money, and because you'll be able to do what you want to do, what you feel like you want to do. That's where we need to get to. That if you want to be an artist, you have time to do it. You want to not have to worry about paying your bills and all that. You just go out and do it, live life, and do the things that you want to experience. I mean, that's coming, but it's not, it's a ways away, obviously, but that's what the goal, I think, is.
We're the only species on the planet that requires money to survive.
Crazy.
That just tells me that that's wasn't how it was supposed to be.
Right.
Well, it was developed to control.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, yeah, because you're making more money for the people that want to be rich, because you're working for them. You're doing their work.
And that's where I become a rebel.
Yeah.
I can't.
So I got these 2 middle fingers for. Told you I wasn't right.
There's my cat, Doug. Squeaker's out of here, man.
Hi, speakers.
He's taking off because he's afraid.
I probably scared him.
He got the whoop part of that and went.
He's like, I'm out. See ya.
Well, I think that's a great regression. Not to brag or anything else, but we did a good job. I think all of the information that came out was so needed.
Good girl.
Yeah, good girl.
It was.
Really, it's needed, and it's important for everybody else to realize I can do this too.
Mm-hmm.
Open up
Yeah,
that
This isn't
pineal
anything
gland.
special. Everybody can get there. That's that's the point. Like,
Right.
And my question for you, Mary, is I know from my experience with hypno regression that weeks and maybe even a couple months after I have had a session, new things will come back. and it's like it opens the floodgates of old memories and things. Have you had that experience since you were regressed? It's been what, a couple months now, or I mean, a few 6-8 weeks now.
I remember that I used to perform when I was little. That I absolutely loved to sing. That I used to do like beauty pageants, like talent shows. I absolutely I didn't like completely forget about it, but I forgot about it. I remember just doing Bonnie Bluebells, the baton twirling. That's what I remember, but I didn't remember that doing that took me like to all these other things just because I like to wear fancy dresses. I was a weird kid. I was a very loud
It's me.
but like
All
when
kids are weird.
I would come home from school and I would pop in Gone with the Wind, and it would be at the scene where they're having the ball to raise money for the Confederacy, and they're all dancing. Like I used to get on as many skirts as I could, and then fake dance with myself. I used to fake fight with myself too. I used to pretend I was She-Ra. Like all these weird things, like all those. Yeah, but the performance thing, and I think a part of it is like, to lose the rest of the weight, I started doing belly dancing, and I think the belly dancing like activated it. I know Deb and I were talking about it, but see, I tried belly dancing more than a couple of years ago, and I couldn't do it, and I couldn't understand. I'm like, I should be able to like at least catch on, but I couldn't. So eventually, I gave up because my kids were making fun of me. But I think like that activated that remembrance of and liking to perform, and then recognizing that's why I've hated public speaking, is because frequency wise and energetically wise, I was blocking that memory.
Mm-hmm.
So I have found when I get into those situations now, I might not necessarily like it, but I don't like freak out either. So yeah.
Well,
long-winded answer. Sorry.
in belly dancing, you're also opening up those lower chakras.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which, we need those for this type of work. So there you go. You were meant to do that.
The only reason I did it was because I wanted to get my belly button pierced because So when the day before my graduation, I was such a rebel. Because I was 18, I decided to go get my nose pierced and my belly button pierced just so I could irritate my mom. So the morning of graduation, I wake up, she looks at my face and she goes, guess I'm not taking any pictures of you today. And she didn't.
Hey, I got my nose pierced when I was 50 to see if my husband would notice, and he didn't.
I didn't.
Then when he did say something,
but,
then when he did the same thing with my tattoo when I was 50, and then like a week later, he's like, "Is that real?" I'm like, "You just noticing it?" And he's like, "Never mind."
Well, after I got my belly button pierced, I realized I still had like a fat roll that was hanging over my belly button, so I couldn't see it anyway.
Oh my God.
I know TMI, but this is the whole story. This is the whole spiritual process. The journey starts somewhere, right? So this is where I go with the flow. Then I'm like, gosh, what am I gonna do to tone up my belly so I can see my belly button ring? I'm like, belly dancing, that makes sense because it's all the stomach muscles. I don't think it's worked yet, but I'm going to keep trying.
But you did open the chakras. Good girl.
We're still recording, right, Dina? We're still recording, right?
Live.
Now everybody knows the life of Mary.
The life of Mary.
I was like the weirdest child, I swear to God.
Nah, you weren't. I was. I used to hang upside down on the monkey bars at night and look at the stars. What kid does that?
You were a bat.
A star seed.
I was a bat.
I used to blow up microwaves.
You still what?
That's fun.
Blow up microwaves?
No, it was a TKR thing. I had all kinds of toasters and microwaves, and
Oh,
my dad wasn't real thrilled about that. Match that, man. Match the poor that I was in the 80s because it kept blowing up the microwave.
this is what aliens do, right?
No, I just think I was only like 13 or 15 or I don't remember. A long time ago.
You were probably like, I just don't even know what's going on.
It didn't.
It was better. You just couldn't make it worse and knock it off.
Then he was like, she can't get in the kitchen. It was like 6 weeks or I don't remember how long. We lived in this tiny ranch house. Finally, my mom was like, Bob, let her in there.
Bob. My mom used to call my dad Bob. I thought his name was Damn It Bob for the first 8 or 9 years of my life. That's all I ever heard. When I was a teenager, I used to bend up silverware when I was washing them and brass handles on doorknobs and things like that, and didn't know I was doing it, and I got in trouble for it. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing.
I didn't bend anything. I just would walk by and it would go smoke.
So now you're not the only weird kid here, Mary.
I used to like
Mary,
now I'm scared.
Better.
We all have our own weirdness, especially from that age.
That's kind.
That's what
But
happens.
Gone
when
with
you
the Wind is
star
like my
seeds
favorite
together.
movie since
I
I was
love
like
that
3
movie.
or some weird stuff. I was addicted to that movie.
Mm-hmm. That and My Fair Lady. Love
watch
that.
that
I
one.
love musicals.
I loved Meet Me in St. Louis. That was one of my faves.
Meet Me in St. Louis.
I loved Judy Garland. Anything she did, I loved. I cried when she died, and I was, 9? How weird is that? Literally.
It was sad when she died. I wasn't around yet.
I
but
felt
yeah.
like I lost my mother or something. It was just weird. So, yeah, see, I'm weird too. We're the spice of life.
That's right.
Life would be so boring if we were all the same, wouldn't it?
It was.
And that's the whole point. We all come here to have experiences, and everybody has a different experience because we're in different places in the world, in life, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have an experience where you're at that I couldn't have, but later when we all reconnect, I can feel your experience and you can feel mine, and then we go off and go somewhere else and have new ones. And to me, that's the whole point, is to live. Just to live.
Yeah.
Oh, and on that note, for tonight.
Thanks for joining us, James. Appreciate it.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, James.
Have a good night, everyone.
Love you all.